All right, I'm live again, I think. Ah, what? Ah, y'all been climbing on the pile and knock stuff over. Ah, you are getting me without makeup, without nothing. Oh my goodness. It's been an interesting night. It took us way longer to get a chair out of the playroom than we thought. The two front legs had splayed. So instead of being like this, they'd splayed out like that. And I think this is sliding. And it just was interesting fun because Mike just got home and Kitten's got the zoomies and we're trying to get that out. And I have not only the sale tonight, which I was trying to pull stuff for, but I got in at the last second at a church flea market for Saturday because my back feels good. So I'm gonna try it to get some stuff out of here. But anything with kittens always takes longer. But I've gotten, I filled an entire trash can with stuff outside, which is good. There was stuff that, wasn't recyclable, wasn't worth selling, just some of it toys that were odd bits and pieces or broken out of one box. So it's always good when you can clear something, even if it's a little bit. It's still good. So I have a whole stack of work baskets I found for those of you who like needlework. Some of them say my grandmother's name, some have my mom's name, so these have been around for a while. Hello, James. Oh, it was a challenge getting here. Oh, can you guys hear that little fan running? Do I need to turn that off? Yeah, I was not. He got home and I'm like, he's done work at 10 and he's usually home by 20 after. And I'm like, okay. So I go upstairs to go get, start to get the two boxes down here that one of them had something in it that I want to try to sell tonight. And if not, I'll take it to the flea market. And I go, yeah, what time is it? Because I got a live tonight and it's at 11:04. Oh dear. Oops. I was late to my live. So, and the notice just went out. So it's been an interesting day. Yes, I hear you. Too bad. Suck it up. 2, maybe 3 of the kittens are trapped in the playroom. I don't know where somebody else is out. I don't have Elrond back there. I know I have one of the black ones in the playroom, but I don't know if their collars are off. They're getting to the point I won't be able to tell them apart because Frodo's getting big. Still, though, the minute you pick him up because Gimli is stocky. You can tell from the weight. He's heavier than all the others. I don't hear one behind me anymore. Okay, computer. What are you doing to me? I need you to actually open. I don't have any cat stuff tonight. Sometimes I do have some cat stuff, but I don't have any tonight. What is this? Yes, end process, so you can let me in. So I'm trying to get the laptop up and running so it's easier to read the chat because the laptop, by watching the chat on the laptop, I can put it into live chat. But doing StreamYard through my phone, I only ever see the order that things come in top chat, which makes things a little more challenging if you do an offer up. No, we don't want to restore the pages that didn't open properly. But we did get a chair out of the house. That's a good thing. That is a very good thing because that chair needed to go. It's trash night. They'll come along early in the morning to pick things up. And it's going to be a busy weekend. The flea market is at my brother's church. So why won't you let me? Still won't let me open up Windows. Or open up Chrome. But I waited and waited because I wasn't sure, because it really does depend on my back, because I knew I had to wait till Wednesday because I didn't know if Mike was going to be on the scout trip or not. And oh, actually, this has got a cat on it. So yes, there will be one cat thing when we get to it. But I didn't know till the last second if I was going to be able to have Mike, because Mike can help drop me off, get all the boxes out of the car to the spot. The church, bless their hearts, they've apparently had me on their prayer list for my spine, so they are giving me a table so I don't have to worry about having to carry a table either. So that'll be awesome. And let's do what we usually have to do. I need to turn the sound off on the laptop. Oh, I forgot to email Steph that I was going to be doing a sale tonight. That's all right. People can go back and forth. I do that all the time. I do that all the time. So how is everybody tonight? Let's see, we have 10 watching now. But so I said it was an endeavor trying to get this taken care of and done. Wednesday too with scouts, that's always the first meeting of the year, is always full of paperwork and signatures and stuff you have to get done. I ended up not going because of a few issues here. We are still dealing with that massive leak, which now has a huge outdoor trash can and a tarp taking most of the water into it. Mike is going to try to see if he could fix the roof this weekend. I could have smacked him about 20 minutes ago. He said, well, after all, what could it hurt? Famous last words, I know, right? No, don't say that. Don't say that. September 8th. So we still have 9 in the house. So I have it's not a huge amount tonight, just because most of the week was dealt with. Anytime we get hit with rain, that roof leaks. We got hit with a massive downpour on Tuesday that required, one of us had to be awake at all times, because we literally were dipping a bucket down into that trash can and then carrying it to the bathroom and dumping the water out. The leak is bad enough that it actually, by the time I woke up in the morning at 9, I overslept, and Mike didn't think to check it when he got home. It was 3 inches from the top. Now, I don't know when it finally had started raining. I had stayed up most of Monday and Tuesday, but boy, it filled fast. So it's what we do. You work around what you can. It's one of many things with this house, but we'll get there. Meanwhile, I'm still trying to empty this house. There's a reason it's this overstuffed house, because, there's 3 estates worth of stuff. stuff I've inherited, stuff that I've picked up over the years, some stuff I've been given. And I did not get a chance to price stuff tonight, so we'll just do it as we'll do everything as an offer. That's usually what I do. When in doubt, offer up. And we'll do it that way. And that way, if anybody else would like stuff, they can have it. The first thing I've got tonight was on the little clip. This is a neat wall hanging. It does have its little piece to hang it. And this feels like that old wool felt, back when felt used to be all wool. It has that feel to it. But I don't know if that's Mayan or Aztec, or even if they're the same, because I'm not that up on that. What do you want, Princess? Oh, Your Highness. All right, come on. The doctor is actually in the house. Yes? Are you going to sit there and grumble about the displeasure of the fact that the kittens are still here? Can I pet you, or am I going to get swiped? If I can. Look, there's the doctor. It's all right, okay? It's okay. It's all right. You okay? Oh, yeah, I know. That's Gimli, and Gimli always pushes his luck. So she's actually been coming out of hiding more and not hanging out outside so much anymore. But she still growls at them and smacks them in the head if they get too close. And at this point, I honestly think Aragorn and Gimli should have brain damage from the amount of times she smacked them in the head. But she's never used claws on them, which is a good thing. So, let's see. Back to this. This wonderful little piece is 7 inches across, and it has that sandstone kind of look. Doesn't really have, I'm not sure what it's made out of, because I don't think it's heavy enough to be resin. Resin is super heavy, and this is not. So we're going to call it Aztec medallion. And I'm going to start this at 5. I'm going to put it in the chat. Are you going to grumble the whole time? Oh, can y'all hear that? And let me turn that fan off in case, because I think that's probably going to be picking up on the. There we go. But yeah, grumble, grumble. Oh, so grumbly. So, what? It's just so rare for her to join us. She used to before the kittens. She's just grumpy, grumpy, grumpy. Aren't you, girl? Are you being grumpy? So before the kittens, before Morgan and the kittens ended up coming into the house, she would sometimes come up and she would lay across me with her head up here, and I'd be trying to sell stuff while she's laying on me. She hasn't really done that since the kittens came. You can come up. You want to come over? Come on. You can do it. Nope, not a chance. Very unhappy kitty. So I don't see anyone for the Aztec piece. So we're going to put a pass on that. And we have now, I didn't look up. I didn't get the string off of it. Okay. Now this was in the fall video from Boy Scout Summer Camp. I forgot to look up who the VT company was, but it's meant for, you know, for a cheese plate, but I don't have, it didn't come with the actual plate on top, but isn't he so cute? And a nice part is like, this would be great for a display if you want to have in your kitchen, because not only can you hide stuff underneath it, but it adds some nice height if you put little things in front of it. So for the cheese cover with the little mouse, and I guess it's meant to be Swiss cheese with all those little holes, we're going to start him. We're going to start that at 8. Oh, there she goes. She's done grumbling. But this is so cute, and there's no chips, there's no cracks. Color that's nice light yellow, but the mouse is adorable, and he's got this nice long tail on there. And the tail is not painted, it is dimensional. It is raised up all the way down to there. Now it is 6.5 across, and then it's about 5.5 tall. Now, from what I understand, it would have had a yellow plate that it went with it, but this did not come with that. But it was such a cute piece that I really felt that I had to rescue this where I was, because it was just too cute. So, if anyone is, we'll pass on that if no one's interested. So, we'll put that back there. Usually you guys see me and I have makeup on, and I don't look like I have any eyebrows because they're strawberry blonde and white, so they just vanish. And my eyelashes are the same way. So you guys rarely ever see me without having at least eyebrows and mascara on. Because it's just, no, because they just don't show up. So I do have some ephemera. Now, this first batch has 1, 2, 3, 19 cards. They're all animals. Now, they're not particularly old vintage. There was a date on one of them. I don't see it. But if you do ephemera, then you can use them to chop them up. So they are. We're going to start these at 3. I did find some really neat ones, though, in this because I really love that one. That one is so adorable. Those are California quail, and I really, really, really like that image. But there are a few that are Christmas because you have some doves and some birds at a feeder, more little birds, a snowman with birds. This is reindeer one, and a puppy dog. That's the envelope for one, but it has this image with all the animals. And then there's some of these, like the little bear is so cute. And look at the little kitten, absolutely adorable. There's a lamb, more birds, a lot of birds to this one. But this one I thought was really cool. I really like the elephant. I thought the elephant, you could be very creative with that elephant. I thought he was pretty cool. There's a lot of birds, more birds. Another kitten, and Garfield snuck in there. He was stuck to the kittens. That's okay. This is so cute. Little mouse in a flower. A little bunny card, which actually isn't even used. It says, "You're the cream of the crop," to my friend. And this one's a Valentine one. It says, "I'll be brief." And it's a little baby bear in briefs. Absolutely adorable. Lots of uses if you junk journal. These are great. If you want to have a theme, you can have all the animals or cut them out and add them onto other things. The animal cards started at 3. And we'll tuck them right there. It's quite a bit of paper stuff tonight. Just, why is there hissing? No hissing. No. Grumble all you want, but no hissing. They just want to come out. They don't want to be stuck in that room anymore. They want to come out and play, but we know what chaos they do. These cards are all florals. And the floral cards this batch will also start at 3. And let me type in, because I don't have any mods tonight. And then you guys better not be tearing up the wood of that door, because it's the only wood in the house that's not been painted. It's this wonderful dark stained wood. So these cards, some of these are vintage, are a little older. Now this one's just the cover. This is how I found them. But I absolutely love Johnny Jump Ups and little violets and pansies. So you have that one. This one's a postcard that looks like poppies on there. This is an anniversary one that has the yellow roses. This one is really neat because you've got this pop-up effect that you would be great to transfer that into a junk journal. This one I think is meant to be blue roses. Flowers. I mean, I'm not sure. I stuck it in there as a flower. This one's also pretty cool because you have this And you could either put the tabs behind it to make this dimensional, but it's actually a fold out. And this is a cup and saucer magnolia, which if you're in my side of the PA, you never saw them bloom this year because we got that cold snap in the spring, right when they were blooming. And it took out all of the blooms before they ever even opened. Nice close up of one, but it has 3 little ones on the back. This one is actually a photograph card. But isn't that a beautiful, beautiful arrangement? That is absolutely gorgeous. This one has some drawings of flowers. This one's a birthday card, and it has that, but then the image with the same. But all of these are flowers. The patchwork is all done with florals. We have this one, big bouquets. One that's more stylized. This little one, which is just the front, apparently. Or is it? Yeah, it is. More blue. And an all over. And then this one, which has flowers in it. Yeah, we're getting into that season where everybody will be doing their craft shows will kick in all across the country because this is the time of year for it. People are looking for unique and crafted Christmas presents or Hanukkah presents or just for cool stuff to decorate with. So this is the time of year. I opened up one box because we had this wooden crate thing that I wanted to take to the flea market that was in the corner in Mike's room. And there was this little box in there, and I opened it up. It's all craft supplies. Most of it beadwork supplies. So I will have to go through it, but I'm pretty sure that there's some packs of tiny little seed beads, which will be coming to a live sale. Because I would like to at some point have a crafters live sale where it's just clearing out some of the supplies, but a lot of the excess supplies went to Philly Flipper to store. He, bless his heart, let me store stuff while I was supposed to do the Black Hole Challenge room. So it's all still stored at his place at the warehouse. But it has to get out of there by the end of the year because he's moving. But bless his heart, he's let it stay there all these months since I got hurt. And has been absolutely a doll letting that happen because I'm some of those boxes I won't even be able to lift, but we will be working when dealing with the roof this weekend. I'm dealing with the flea market, and then the plan for next week. Because there's an hour a day in this schedule Mike gave me. There's an hour a day that has to be on specific things. I set a timer. And for 1 hour of each day, I have to work in the Black Hole Challenge room because I have to get an office space as soon as possible. So 1 hour of each day is in there. 4 hours of each day are packing and emails. So now this is a vintage comic book from 1969, but it is the true story of Smokey the Bear, printed by the U.S. Department of Agriculture Forest Service. I don't think I've ever seen this before. It must have been picked up by one of the siblings on a vacation because it was tucked away with some other paperwork, and some of it was stuff that was, from when they went on a vacation pre-me, because I didn't come along till 1965, and I don't think the first 4 or 5 years they even took me with them on the family vacations. I think I got left at the grandparents or the great aunts as a wee little one. So Smokey the Bear here. This very cool vintage comic book. This is $5 for the Smokey the Bear. This one's going to be a set price. He is $5, and he's number 17. $5, number 17 for Smokey. Because there are a few things that are going to be set. What? You want to come say hello? Come on. Come on, Gimli. Come on. This is Gimli. This is Mike's cat. Mike locked you out of his room already because Mike wants an early start in the morning. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, he does. And he's got his little pet link thing because it did Mike paid to get him an Elron chipped. So they are microchipped. This is, you had asked about cats, and I forgot that the cat stuff is I have that tin, and I have this picture because this was in the Instagram post, and then in the little video it did, I think. This was in a frame. Now the frame could not be saved. The frame was in bad shape, but this is a just adorable image, and it's got, I have no way to tell when it's from, but it says towels shown left about 59 cents, right about 69 cents. There's an ad for Canon towels on the back. If those towels are under $1, you know this picture's got to be from 40s, maybe 40s, 50s. But that was behind, that was in the frame. And you'll get this image. This one was also with it. Now, this one's a little rough around the edges, but there's this farmstead image. Now, it's not, I think this might have been taken out of a book because it's not a photograph. So this will come with it. And then this was the cardboard that was behind them all. So I don't know if this was what was sold with that frame. And you can see where there's damage here, but it says 3 queens. And it's 3 cows. So you would get all 3 pieces of all 3 images. And that would just be $3 for them. And they're number 49. 49 for the 3 images, and it's just $3 for those. We're gonna stick them up there with Smokey there. And so we have 19 watching now and 14 thumbs up. I thank you very much. I thank you, thank you. This is a book that I found in the playroom. It's called the Astrodome. It's a 3D map of the night sky. Now, when you make it, it makes this dome thing here. Makes that. Now, it's got a little wear to it because you can see there's a little hole there where it caught on the staple binding, and the corner is a little chewed up there. But inside, none of it has ever been taken out. Now, there's a constellation handbook that comes with it. You can see, now I'm trying to see. Okay, this will show you. These, I think, are the parts in the back that hold it all up. But you can see everything's all perforated. Well, all of the constellation pages are also all perforated. So they all fit in. They all have little tongue and groove little pieces, almost like paper dolls. Now, I do have to wonder if they glow in the dark, because all this white stuff you see, you can feel it. It's raised up a little bit. So I don't know. Can be adapted for use in projecting the stars onto the ceiling. Love to know how. The back doesn't say. Oh yes, so here it is. It says it on the front. Stars glow in the dark. Makes a 20-inch mini planetarium. So this is a cool book if you have any kids that really like wanting to learn about the stars and the different constellations. And so this is planetarium book. This is going to be $4, number 28. $4, number 28. I did not, in the stuff I was cleaning out today, I did not find any glass. And I didn't find any porcelain, which is why I thought, okay, well, this is why I did stop and have, stuff from the haul from when we stopped at that summer camp place. I did try to pick up a few things that were okay. Old age ain't no place for sissies. This is a gift books from Hallmark. It does have an inscription on the inside front end paper from December 18th, 2007. But the book is really fun. It is a great read. It is in like new condition. I didn't find a smudge. I didn't find anything wrong with it. The spine is all still nice and tight and no creases. The only writing is that inscription that was in the front. Old age ain't no place for sissies. And that is going to be, that magnet out of the way, $4 for the Old Age Ain't No Place for Sissies book. And it's number 10. $4, number 10. You over here. Now, I did find this. Now, I do ship media mail, but magazines cannot go media mail. So this is, I found quite a few, and I thought I would bring one down just to see if there was interest in these. I haven't found any in a long time, and I had sold them off, and people were using them for junk journaling and cutting the images out. Though most of the images are black and white in these old things. This is Antiques Magazine from September 1970. You can see the cover's got some issues there. Up here in the corner, there's a little piece missing there. But inside, now, because it is older, you do end up with a lot of black and white images. I like this one, has an antique travel guide. And it has by state all these different antique stores. And I was looking at that going, gee, I wonder how many might still be in existence, but I doubt it. Let me find Pennsylvania just for giggles. Are there any that are actually near me? Ardmore, but I don't know Ardmore. Kennett Square, Willowdale Antiques. I don't know about that one. Come on, name a town I know. Philly. Caldwell and Company up on Chestnut Street. They're in Philadelphia. They, I believe, are still around. Germantown Antiques, I think, is still around. Those are the only ones up in the city that I know of. Most of these towns, though, are the bigger, more moneyed ones. But now this one has quite a few room. Here we go. Images. Because they have a history on houses. They have an article on Susanna Rosen and her academy. I like this one because it has all the tools and all the clock faces. Actually, they're compasses. There's some really cool antique compasses in here, which would be neat. Hi, Annie Christie. There's also an article on American Silver and the Art Institute of Chicago. But there are some color plates, not many, but there are some in the center because there's English earthenware images. And there's some old house. 19th century American rooms at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And there are images of actual artwork. But as I said, you know, you can see the majority of it from the 1970s is in black and white. But they are still a good resource for, you know, for junk journaling. If you can get the pictures lined up right, I've done this for small packages. Sometimes it's fun if you get the picture lined up just right to actually wrap a little present. It's in a little, like a little box, and have the image like right on the top, which is always kind of fun. So this is the 1970 Antiques magazine from September. And this is going to be $4. That seems to be the price tonight. $4, number 71. $4, number 71. We'll put that over there. Now, move those over. Now, I have, and I haven't sorted them yet. Okay, there's 1965. 65. Do I have the whole year for 1965? That would be cool. March, April. There's August. There's June. Oh, nope. Now we jump to 66. Bummer. I guess they didn't get them every. What's that year? That's 62, 63. All right, so let's take a look at. Oh, there's another 1965. In October of 1965. Okay, so let's take a look at these. This is going to be an offer up for however many 1965 work basket books we've got. If you do anything with, they've got stuff in here for how to do tatting, how to crochet, sewing, anything that was, I mean, they called it Work Basket, the Home Arts magazine. So basically it was anything that you could make out of fabric or yarn or whatever. I'm not good enough to be able to do these. I know there's tatting equipment, the little shuttles and stuff in this house somewhere. I don't know how to do any of it. My mom didn't know how to do it either, but my great aunts, they not only knew how to do tatting with that stuff and make their own lace, they actually knew how to make lace. They had padded boards that you stuck all the little pins in and then like took the thread, and because their mother knew how to do it. How my grandmother knew, I have no idea. She knew how to do it and taught her daughters. So I somewhere have some bone bobbins for when you make the lace where it's the pins stuck into on a board and you have to wind the thread through all the pins. I actually have bobbins for that somewhere. So let me put this in a lot of 1965 work basket magazines. We're going to start these. We're going to start these at $7. Now that's less than $1 each. So let's see. We have no. March, April, June, July, August, October, November, and December. So we have only one of them. The October one covers in kind of ish shape. And they all still have the original mailing label on there too. But we have, this is the one for March of 1965. So these things are only a few months older than me because I didn't show up until October. Oh, there's recipes in this one. Really? Now I did notice that they don't have the transfers in them. Considering the stacks of transfers I have from magazines like this, I may have the actual transfers, but they do have the thing that tells you how they could take that month to make a baby quilt. But it has cooking recipes in there, which is a surprise. Pot roast, Irish recipes. Well, that's why. It's all Irish recipes. Because, you know, it's March, don't you know, and you got to have your Irish recipes for your St. Patrick's Day. So my family was Protestant, so they would have been Orangemen. So they have scalloped edge. They have a pixie cap. I like that little cap. That's cute. They have the instructions on that, on how to crochet that. They have a baby ensemble to crochet. Look at that ensemble. Look at that cute little outfit, even little shoes, little booties. So that's the March one. And then you get the April one with this little fella. You have that little sweater there. He's going to be part of it. There are some, there's all about ham that month. So there's quite a few recipes for ham. There's this interesting little article in some of this. Women Who Make Sense, and it's spelled CENTS. So it's people who, back in 1965, they're sending in their ideas of what they did to make some money. And I got a kick out of this one is somebody makes little sewing sets for little girls. They sell for $1.50 per set. She makes small aprons from sewing remnants and a transfer embroidery design, a pocket piece. With the set, I add embroidery thread, the applique design, so that the little girls can put their imaginations to work. Somebody else does mosaic pictures. Somebody does bracelet bars out of cardboard cylinders found inside boxes of foil and wax paper. She covers them with satin, velvet, or a print and decorate with gold braiding and cord. Then you attach the cylinder to a small box or block of wood, and they sell easily for $1 or $2. I love that they did a little drawing. They did a tiny little drawing there. Well, hello, princess. The doctor's back to complain some more. There is instructions for that doily. So you have that one. This one has a pullover jumper and a button-up one. It's called Diamond Rug. It makes a little coat for the boy, I guess. But it also has instructions. Look at that bedspread. This one's also got the instructions for that in here. I love some of the ads. Who remembers these? Who remembers those? There's an ad in there for it. Yes, Your Highness. Is there something I can help you with? Yeah, there's only one queen in this house, darling, and you're not it. Oh, so hard. Such a hard life, right? I like the coat. Very mod, and that's all crocheted. What are you trying to do, young lady? Oh, the recipes are for dairy for that month. What? Wait, seriously, do you want up? Well, come and turn around. No, you just wanted to come to my feet and complain. Okay. It's another little boy, but I like the little one, the little jacket on the back. A shell jacket. Okay. This one's July 1965. Molded salads and vegetables. Oh, should we send that to Katie? Here, Katie, have some more aspic and gelatin crazy recipes. If you have not seen Vintage and Vinyl, she has done, bless Katie's heart, she has done several recipes where they are these old Jello mold recipes. And boy, there was one, even the dog wouldn't eat it. I'm not kidding. A piece fell on the floor and even her dog went, nope. Nope. Now, sometimes on the back of these, they have just an ad. This one is the August, and they have this lovely little coat. Reminds me of Nancy Reagan. But inside, they have this, which is a latch hook rug. So I'm wondering if that's what the, instructions on page 5. So you have the latch hook rug in there. You have some tatting. You have several different tatting designs. You have for the calorie watchers for the cooking. You have that sweater as well. Then you have the, as I said, the October one, which the cover is coming apart. They have anything Halloween-y in the October one? Because that would just be too cool. Bummer. No, they don't. And then you have November, and then you have December. And I am not seeing any. Oh, because I didn't hit enter. Duh. Anyway, I'm not seeing any interest in these. Oh, look. The December one still has. Seriously? It's for Valentine's Day. So you have all these little kitchen kind of things. And then up here you have cherubs, and then you have his and hers. But this one still has the transfer in it. And sometimes, these do still work. I've actually had fairly decent luck with that. Does this one still have it? No, just that one. Oh, Hardinger embroidery, white over red. That always looks so nice, but I'm always, boy, if you make a mistake, it shows up real quick. So the offer up with the start at 7 for all of the work baskets from 1965. And I don't see anybody taking that one. That's okay. And I do have another offer up. I have this wonderful little tin with this little girl. Now, this is a Horner. There are people who do collect Horner tins. Horner did some absolutely fabulous images on their tins. The inside is the usual dark metal. They didn't tend to finish them off too much. The lids usually had some silver, but the silver's, as usual, tarnished away. Now it is a little bit faded. That is not whited out from my lights. That is that if the image itself has faded a little all across the top here. But it's such a cute little thing. Isn't that adorable? And let me put in pass for the work baskets. And then for the tin, for the Horner tin, this is going to be, knowing what they're worth and accounting for that fading, this is going to be $7, number 76. $7, number 76 for the Horner. Oh no, the TARDIS is not for sale. The TARDIS is actually a birdhouse. When my channel first started, and one of the viewers found out I really, really loved Doctor Who, which is why my cat is called the Doctor. That whole litter was the Doctor, Rory, Amelia, and Davros. Unfortunately, Amelia turned out to be a boy, so it very quickly got changed to Pond. The two boys got adopted out. Rory I was never able to catch, but I have the Doctor. And she's very grumbly right now because we have 5 foster kittens in the house. So, and I see no one for the Horner tin. And the only other thing I had, and I didn't know what to do with, and I'm going to show these to you because I do have all 4. And if you didn't want them framed, that would be okay. I could take them out of the frame and it would definitely decrease the shipping. But someone did these squares that are the 4 seasons, and it's counted cross stitch. So you have spring, do them in the right order here. This one is summer. Now you can tell whoever put them in here, I think, did it themselves because they're not quite squared up. And I don't think they blocked. I could tell from the lines, like they didn't get this professionally blocked, which is where they kind of steam it so that they square up all the lines of the Aida cloth. But that's summer. And then this one is autumn. Autumn goes this way. And then you have winter this way. And I didn't really want to, because they actually are such a nice set, I didn't really want to break them apart. And I had put a little thing up on Instagram with these, and I did one thing on Instagram and I did something else on try to do something else for the YouTube. And the YouTube was these, and the cats were causing chaos. And I finally decided that I'm not going to break them up because they're meant to be a set. But I'm not going to break them up. And so you would get all 4. You don't have to take the frames though. So I would do those though as an offer up. And we have 20 people now, which is good. And 20 thumbs up. Yay. Thank you. I basically have to rebuild my channel from getting hurt and then falling so far behind in this shipping. I know I have created a very bad name for myself. I did not expect to end up with pinched spinal nerves. You watch everybody do these, and I get now why everybody has a partner or their kids who help them with stuff. I don't have that. I'm all on my own. so that if something happens, like if Misty gets sick, her husband still helps with the packing. She weighs it, he does all the labels. I don't have that. Hey, proud American. So I'm working on rebuilding the channel as well as reorganizing here, and now I can finally lift 15 pounds without pain. Yay. So I'll get there. I'm slower, but we're moving forward. We're getting there. So but for these, they would be an offer up. And let's see, 4-piece set, cross-stitched seasons. And normally any little cross-stitch image, because I may just put them up on eBay. I haven't made up my mind yet, but I thought I'd offer them here first. But they would start for this set. So I'm going to start it on eBay at that. Then for you guys, it would start at, for you guys, it would start at this. Because I know what they do on eBay. These things do better. And but I'm going to offer them to you first. So they would start at 16. Oh, duh. 4-piece. 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 But they are really well done. Like when you see the stitching and the lettering, that's all nice and even. The stitches are all uniform in size. Whoever stitched it did a beautiful job on them. They really are incredibly well done. And there's even, I thought this was cool. When you see this Afghan, can you see it? There's fringe. There's actual little lines of fringe, individual little threads that they put the fringe on the Afghan, which I thought was just such a nice touch. But they really are well done. And the only thing that why they look a little out of kilter is because they just didn't get, maybe they didn't know how to block their own piece of Aida cloth. Because when you do cross stitch, what happens is, the pieces tend to unalign. So because it's a woven thing. So what'll happen is they'll get a little out of whack. And so you have to carefully pin it and then steam it and line everything back up again. Be usually done before you frame it. Oh, happy days. Yeah, I have arthritis, but not at that point in my spine. And they've already warned me. They're like, yep, get prepared because it will eventually. And I just don't want it. I don't need it in my hip. I already have it in my foot. I stress fractured one foot. That slowed me down. I'm fine now. That's all healed. I'm back into regular shoes, but there was a stress fracture that started at scout camp, and then within a week, I had an accident with the cats here, and definitely made it worse. So, and I don't see anyone for that, so that's okay. But that definitely slowed everything down because I couldn't just hop up and down the stairs, and packing stuff, a lot of the packing stuff was upstairs. Now the rolls of, you can see the orange, Mike brought it all down here, which is why I can hardly move my chair because behind me is the other size bubble wrap. And then I've got wads of wrapping paper down here. so that he brought it all down so I could try to wrap here at my desk, but that limits the size box I can do too. So, but I am working on it. And if I owe you stuff, I do still have it. What did I do in my, I think it's underneath these. Isn't it? What did I do with it? Oh, so I keep a list. And I have on this every sale, what the date of the sale was, if it was on another channel, so that I keep track. Because some of you buy a lot of stuff. Lois should just show up with her car and I can fill it. But I'm so happy to be back in action and feeling really good and moving. And we've tweaked some of the meds so that I'm off of one that was bothering my stomach so much and causing issues there. But instead now I'm like seriously have to pump potassium and magnesium tablets every day. None of my stuff is 5 years. None of my stuff is 5 years. So I was really kind of horrified. So when I got hurt, there were a lot of things that were boxes that were partially packed, some completely packed, and Mike didn't know what to do. I needed to be able to get around everywhere in this house, including to here, including into the Black Hole Challenge Room, with a walker. So he just moved things to make space. Well, yesterday, I found it yesterday. I already emailed Melanie, Serendipity by Melanie. This is all stuff that was packed and never weighed and invoiced because that I got hurt. And on my notes, I have when I packed it the day before I fell and pinched the nerves in my spine. I probably had packed it that night and then went to bed. And then the next day we were working in the yard and that's when I fell. And so I did email her and I've heard back from her. I didn't even talk about that stuff. I told her that I did find it. But I was more interested in knowing how was she doing. We're not going to see. I know it's been 5 months already since we've really seen a video from Serendipity by Melanie, and it's okay. She's healthy. She's good. But if you saw her Instagram or some of her other posts, she was moving. So she moved. They're all set, but up where she's at, that virus is still going around. And she's lost quite a few people. And just 2 days ago, she lost a close friend. And so she's trying to deal with all of that loss. And remember too, right before she moved, she lost was it her son that had passed, or was it the nephew? It's been a year now, so I've kind of forgotten which one. So she's hanging in there. She's having a tough time with it all, and so we're all gonna keep her in our thoughts and prayers. I have not heard from Terry Candelora in a long while, and I have her phone number. A lot of us saw her in the chats, and I've tried a couple times now and then over the summer. I tried the very beginning of the summer, end of the spring, and it went right to voicemail. I never got a call back. And then I think of these things, and I think of them like after midnight. So I finally wrote it down. Mike got on my case about I have to write things down. I have to have, and of course, like I lost it already. He's gonna have a cow. There it is. And there's actually my packing. There's actually my packing notes. So That's the tablet he got. That's the tablet he gave me. You have easy, you have Tosh stuff, and then you have so so these are the crisis ones that have to be dealt with. And then this would be Tosh, because it originally said tough that, and tough poo, and so this became Tosh poo, and then this is easy poo, and this is poo. So but I finally put it on her name's right there to call her, and I tried calling again, and still nothing. So I'm a little worried because I know she was having health problems. So the last time I spoke to her, she was, the doctor wanted to replace one of her knees, but then she started having breathing problems. She got up too fast trying to get out of bed and had fallen. And her breathing problems, I was getting worried because they were just continually getting worse. She was getting out of breath when we would talk, even though she was sitting still. And that was the last I heard. So we'll keep her in our thoughts and prayers too. And I know everybody's been praying for me for my health, and I thank you all very much. And whoever has sent, because somebody did it again, he sent me a box of the Fancy Feast kitten food. Bless your heart, because with me not having the Wawa job anymore, feeding, because you figure I'm feeding 5 kittens, I'm feeding the doctor, and Forgotten Cat still has not showed up, and that's on my list. Got a call. I called yesterday and got told to call on Monday, and gave me a very specific name of who to talk to, because we need to get Rory and Shadow off the streets, get them fixed, and get them into a proper foster care house of somebody that really knows what they're doing, because I can pick them up, I can handle them, I've been working with them for so long, but I'm also feeding them. So the amount of cat litter and canned cat food, and they're only getting, like, the outdoor ones, they get half a can, because I split a can between them, one in the morning and one in the evening. And the doctor eats like a bird. She likes the little tiny cans, and as it is, she prefers dry food, which is a blessing. But the kittens, they're growing kittens. They're still eating. They still eat like 4 times a day, because they're still so young. They're 16 weeks now? But somebody, bless your heart, had sent me some Fancy Feast kitten food, and they have chowed through it. That was one of the other big reason of doing the flea market. Mike's not happy because I'm going to have to borrow seed money from him, but I'm out of cat food. They were very happy tonight because they got salmon from one of the food banks. There was a can of salmon, so I picked all the little bones out, and all the cats were very happy because they got fed salmon tonight. They ate better than I did. But it's just a juggling of everything. This week just happened there was a bill that I did not expect. Don't you hate those bills that come like quarterly, or every 3rd month, or every 2 months, like the sewer bill? So it threw my things off. So that was another reason for doing the flea market. And tomorrow we're gonna, not only is Mike running around to get what he thinks he needs to try to fix the roof himself, but we have to fit in taking all the aluminum cans from out of the basement and some aluminum pipes from old tents and stuff, and get that to the junkyard so that I have seed money for the flea market. I always find a way. I always try to find a way. So, but that's how we're doing. And I might be, I was thinking of, and I love my night owls, But I seriously was thinking of starting my lives earlier in the evening because Melanie's. I kept it at 11 because he used to have Patrick, trusty Huckster Mercantile, and he would be done at 10. And then Serendipity by Melanie would do hers at 10 to 11, and then I would come on at 11. Well, now we have Steph who sells stuff by the seashore, and she and her, and I've forgotten the name of who she does it with, because I was missing so many when I had the relapse Thursday nights. So they start earlier, and then they go for hours and hours. I couldn't believe it that at one point, like, I woke up and I had a headache, and I sat up and I took the Tylenol, and I picked up my phone, and I was wonder if anybody's on while I wait for the Tylenol to kick in. And there they were at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, still doing their live sale. So I was thinking of starting a little earlier, and start at 10, and then I might be done earlier. I don't really want to switch days, but let me know if you see this later, if you get to this point. Put it in the comments if that would be okay with my night owls to start at 10 and just start an hour earlier and see how that would work. It might. We'll see. So, do I need to do a recap for anybody who got here late? Where'd I put it? There it is. So we have. What did I do to my laptop here? There we go. So we have the Aztec or Mayan Aztec medallion. It won't scuff your wall because it's got this nice felt on the back. And Happy Days, you know what it's like. I had done a bunch of stuff as offer up because things were so busy. I have filled 4 trash cans out. Well, I can't take credit for one of them because it's kitchen trash. But this week's been so busy between scalp paperwork and everything else, and I did some stuff in the yard, and that filled up 1 trash can. I tried to put some water in the bird bath and pulled too hard on the old hose, and no lie, the hose snapped in half. How old it was. This thing had pieces of duct tape wrapped around it where there'd been pinholes, and one of them just finally broke right off. So there was a bunch of different yard waste stuff that was filled another can this week. I'm so proud of myself for actually having gotten out there to do some of it. And then another can was half stuff from out of the basement, and the rest of it was stuff from out of the house. And the other can that's waiting for me to take a smaller bag that I left out in the kitchen out, and that'll be the 4th one filled to the top, and that's one of those giant ones. I'm so happy to have 4 trash cans out there. It's a good thing. That's a good thing. So anyway, here is our Aztec medallion, and an offer started at 4. So let's give him a number. And so $4, number 67. Let me write that down. 67, since we gave him a number. Put him back here. I had this wonderful little, now he's meant to be a cheese cover, but look at that mouse. Isn't he adorable? This thing is so cute. This thing is just so cute. And you could, it's a great thing to have. You could hide stuff in your kitchen, on your kitchen counter, and hide stuff underneath it where your stash of your specialty is, or your cookies, or stuff you don't want the kids to find. And because it's got some height, you know, you could have other things in front of it. And so he was $8. Let's give him a number. $8, number 72. The Myanmar calendar. I wonder. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it could be. I just know he's got this really neat face. The face is in the middle. It's not my style. Definitely not my style. Yeah, I think it might be more Mayan. Let me guess, Myanmar. Spell check got you? Spell check got you. I had two ephemera lots that were not necessarily super vintage. One was different animals. I love the California quail, the little mouse. They had the cool elephant. But these all have animals. Some of them are Christmas ones, including the birds that are on that one, and the bunny. But this whole lot of cards for ephemera, for decoupage, was just $3 because they're not vintage. So it's $3 for the craft lot number 39 for the animal cards. And then there was a floral lot, which has all kinds of flowers. I like that one. That you could do things with. And again, you can see just like this one, I still think is the coolest one because you could actually make this a dimensional image by putting a spacer in between these two pieces, but it is a fold out. So that one's pretty cool. So those are the floral ones. This is neat because this is an actual photograph, that floral card. And that was also $3 for the floral ones. Yes, they are. Most of them are written in. There were a couple where they were like this one. This one is from the Scott Arboretum of Swarthmore College. It's actually part of a card, but that's such a cool image. So yeah, I think we found one, the bunny rabbit card was the only card that actually hadn't been written in. So the floral cards are also $3 and number 73. But they are not, they're not particularly vintage, so that's why they're so cheap. But they are nice images. So I have, get my numbers here. I do have a vintage Smokey the Bear, 1969. It's in really good shape. It is a comic book with the true story of Smokey the Bear in it. And remember, Smokey is not the same as Teddy Roosevelt's bear. Smokey was a bear that survived. It was a baby bear that survived a wildfire, and the fireworkers actually pulled him out of there. So this is $5 and is number 17. $5, number 17. For Smokey the Bear. There are 3 images. Now, the frame did not survive, but the images that were in them, this is adorable. Now, this is from a magazine. This was the first image. This is what was in the frame. Isn't she so cute? Behind it, I found this of some farm. I suspect that this may have been an image from out of a book. And then behind that, the cardstock that was holding everything on, you can see that there was some damage to the top. It says 3 queens, and it's 3 cows. So that those 3 images were $3 for those vintage images, and they were number 49. Put you carefully up there. Where's the planetarium book? Okay. Then we had Happy Days. We had this, an Astrodome. It creates its own dome planetarium. It's never been used. It's got the constellation book still inside, but it has all the constellations. Now, each of these pop out, and what happens is it makes this dome, and these pages, they're all perforated. These are the pieces for on the back to make the dome sturdy. And it says on the front that all of the little stars glow in the dark, which would be cool because some of them have things that become part of the Milky Way on there. And so the Astrodome book, what is this from? Does it say? Sunstone Publications, 1986. I had just hit 20. So the planetarium book is $4 and is number 28. And I have Old Age is up there. Old Age Ain't No Place for Sissies. This is a gift book from Hallmark. It is a fun read. I thought it was quite funny. It does have, oh, I missed that part. There's a little mark in the back. I missed that the first time around. But it does have an inscription inside from 2007. And this was $4, number 10 for the Old Age book. We have a 1970 Antiques magazine. And you can see it's got some issues. Where to go? This corner, you can see the deep scrape here. There's a little piece missing down here. And most of the images are black and white, but for junk journaling, the older newspaper, the older, oh, there's a female centaur image in there from 1887, John Lafarge. You don't see female centaurs very often. But the paper was different. There's a whole section that's surveyor's equipment, and it's got an amazing amount of compasses in there. Now, because it's older, most of it is black and white. There are some color pages here and there, but they are great for these are great for doing decoupage or junk journaling, because the old magazines, especially the kind that's so heavy with photographs, it's a thicker paper, so you don't get the image from the other side bleeding through. So the 1970 Antiques magazine was $4 and was number 71. There was a Horner tin. Horner made some of the best tins. And this is the image on the front. Now you can see that the colors are a little bit faded. There is a little fading across here. I think this was where some sunlight got to it. And it does have a nice tight lid. There's some surface scratching, like it's hard to show you that there is a scratch that goes right from here down to here across the cat's head. But this was $7, and this was number 76. Horner tins. Horner is one of the companies that they make some excellent tins and are often pretty pricey, but that one with the fading. And then there are some 1965 work basket magazines, and that was what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We don't have, we start the year in March. We have April, June, July, August, October. The cover is falling off. The October one has cover issues. Did we check the October one for if it had the, yeah, it doesn't have it. And then there's November, and then there's December. And the fun part of the December one is the December one does still have the embroidery transfer in it, which I laughed because it has all some neat little kitchen kind of, there's a butter churn, and I like the fact that there's a, do you see it? There's a hen and nest. And but there's also this big Valentine heart in the December issue. So there were all of those, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there's 8 of them, and we tried to start it as an offer up at 7. So we have to give it a number. So how about $6 for all 8 of them, and it's number 87. And I'll change that to $6 and number 87. So if you see this on the playback, then put it in, either shoot me an email. My email is right there, or shoot me, put it in the comments, and I will let you buy it that way. The orange, that's bubble wrap. That's the medium-sized bubbles that are about the size of a quarter. Because when I stress fractured my foot, Mike brought down a lot of the packing stuff. I have 2 sizes of bubble wrap behind me. I've got a wads of paper down here. But I only have the small area of the desk to try to pack things in, because purple flower thing. Oh, this, my tote bag. Look, it's the obnoxious fairy. It's Tinkerbell. If I fill that up with packages, my brother has been taking them to the post office for me. We solved the problem of him losing a package underneath the car seat or forgetting it in the back seat. It all goes into the Tinkerbell bag or into some other tote bag if it has to be more than one. But you know where I got this? I had gone to the bins, to the Goodwill bins for the very first time. Well, I didn't know, because I didn't know that they don't really give you a bag. You have to have your own. And so luckily I went in and I had said something, because I didn't know that they don't let you stay in the building when they're swapping the bins out. Not the one that's in Delaware. It's in Newark, Delaware. They chase you out. They chase you out of the building while they swap out. And you can't line up along the side or anything. So while they're swapping out all of the bins, you have to leave. So she let me stay just so I could learn how it worked. And then she said, and you have to have your own bags to take the stuff home. And I went, oh crap. So this was there, and I snagged it, and I like it. Mind you, she is the most obnoxious fairy in all of literature, because she tries to kill Wendy more than once. If you've ever read the books, especially now, even in Disney, they still have where Tinkerbell tries to get the Lost Boys to shoot the Wendy bird. So Tinkerbell tries to get a Lost Boy to shoot Wendy, And then in the books, she gets the mermaids so wound up about Wendy that the mermaids try to drown Wendy. And then there's another one in there somewhere. I know she wants Hook to like make Wendy walk the plank. Maybe that's the third one. She's an obnoxious little fairy. She has some serious murderous intent. Oh, so KF Stew, hello. So that was everything for tonight. It was a rough start. I have to check my so Happy Days, you weren't here at the very beginning to hear me say what chaos it was because we were trying to get a chair out of the house to the trash. It's not a vintage, honestly. Vintage Queen Anne chairs last better. The frames are better. And this was one when Mike used to have years ago when Mike had his PlayStation and Xbox out in the playroom. This was a chair he picked up from Goodwill, and it's that Queen Anne style, but it's so crappily made. The frame is all pine. And what happens is over time, those curved front legs start splaying out. So instead of staying straight, they start doing this. And then the screws pull right out of the frame because the frame of the chair is only cheap pine. And that's a soft wood. So trying to get it out and realizing that the way the legs are was catching on everything. And he's tired. He's worked all second shift, and it was an order night, so he had to put all the whole order away in the store. And he just was grumbling. He was not happy. And the kittens were running around. We get that done, and I get upstairs with him, and I say, okay, well, I'm supposed to be live at 11 o'clock. What time is it? And I'm like, crap, it's 11:04. I tried coming down the staircase. I tried on my phone to start a new StreamYard, but somehow it said I had already been live for 1 hour and 38 minutes. Somehow I think it tagged me into an old live or something. So I went, okay, you know what? Look for take 2. And I turned it off. And then I had trouble because my phone was at like 8%. So my phone, the screen is dim. It wasn't plugged in yet. I'm in the hallway, walking down the hallway, trying to grab the stuff and get it out here too. And so I get it plugged in and then I had to restart everything. So I was late. It just was never a dull moment. Never. Any dull moments I had were blissful when Mike took me away for 3 days to the state park up around Jim Thorpe, PA. And that first day we got there, by early afternoon, it started raining. And it rained for a couple of hours. And we didn't care. It was blissful. I'm in my camp chair sitting there reading a book. He's in his camp chair sitting on the little porch to the cabin reading a book. And you could just barely see the lake through the trees. And it was just so nice. No kittens, no cell phone service, so no phone going off. That was awesome. And nobody talking to me. Nobody following me around the house talking to me. So it was great. That's all we did that first day. We just both, read, did stuff, and the next day he took me out, and he still wouldn't tell me where we were going. And he took me to a used bookstore, and that's where I found. I put the pictures on my Instagram. I found a McCoy, a Warman's McCoy price guide. And I found a California pottery from Collector Books guidebook. And I don't think either. I think the California pottery one, I think, was $7 and the other one was $6. They were so cheap because when you find them in any of the vintage resale shops, the price is usually jacked up because they're out of print. They're all those books we use for references are out of print. So to find them at that low a price, I'm like, yes, I'll do it. I'll do it. And the only money I had to take with me that week was the money that I put aside. Like if I have a week where I had, 2 or 3 $1 bills left, I have a special envelope I would stick them in. And that was supposed to be flea market money. And then I thought, well, I'm not going to be doing any flea markets. We're getting to the end of the season. It just didn't happen this year. And so that was the money I used on the trip. And now I have a flea market. Friend of mine used to tell my mother and I that we are the family that put the fun in dysfunctional. But I'm tired of that kind of fun. But I'll make it work. You got to do what you got to do sometimes. That's just the way it works. So I hope y'all had some fun. We have 18 people here now, and 25 thumbs up. Yay! I need to get some videos together that are not cats. Though everybody seems to be enjoying seeing the kittens. It's no longer any noise out there, so I think they've probably fallen asleep. They'll wake up as soon as I open that door. I might have kittens with zoomies again. But I am going to end here. It's almost been 2 hours. It's almost 1 a.m. because it's going to be a very busy and very long day tomorrow. And yeah. And yes, I did do a little color. I added a little more because it was getting really faded. But I only did I just combed forward this little bit and just did this. After all, it's just hair. It'll grow out, So this will probably be the last time I do the green, though. I'm not a real fan of teal. And it doesn't show up as well on you guys because I didn't do further back. So some of this looks like it's faded to these down the ends here. This is all lighter green. So it looks like it's just kind of faded that way. This was a color Mike had been using. And but now he's looking for new jobs. So he's not going to be dyeing his hair again anytime soon. And I thought I'd play with it. But this is pretty much, there's, I think, enough in the bottle left for me to do one more time, but I probably won't because I'm not really super thrilled with the color. I liked it better when I did the purple. I liked the purple. I thought the purple was cool. Do I have, oh Lord, I can't even get to the vintage material yet. There's a whole wall of vintage material in the dining room. It's stacked about this high and goes about 12 feet. Plus, if you ever saw any of the videos when I was packing up the Black Hole Challenge room, you'll see a lot of fabric go by then as well. There's fabric in boxes in the attic. Here's how much fabric was in this house when I got it. Fair Acres is the county nursing home. Fair Acres has this huge craft show. One in the spring, and then they usually do one before Christmas. I filled my Chevy Malibu, filled to the roof of the car. The back seat was all the way to the ceiling. And filled this trunk. And that thing's got a massive trunk. I did that 3 times and took stuff out to the Fair Acres. I took thread, not the little spools, the industrial spools that are on the cone. I took them out. I took bolts of fabric. I took bolts of elastic. God, I took so much stuff. After the 3rd carload, they went, "We love it, but can you please stop? You have filled every bit of storage space we have." I filled them up. And there's still more fabric in this house. But I haven't even gotten into the dining room because we're trying to make, I'd like to have the living room, but we'll get there. At some point, we'll get there. And then at that point, then there will be a fabric sale. And some of what's at Happy Days you weren't here in the beginning to hear, Philly Flipper will be moving in the new year. And so, and he's moving out of state. So he let me know that, bless his heart, he has kept all that stuff that we took out of the Black Hole Challenge room. He's kept it at that warehouse all these months while I've been hurt. And God, it's been a year now that it's all ended up in his place, hasn't it? But he, bless his heart, has never said a word about it and been such a dear when I would say, are you sure you know that is this still okay? And he said yes. But now he let me know he's going to be moving. So by the end of the year, got to have that Black Hole Challenge room done. I've got to have an office, and I've got to have all that stuff out from his place. And if you watch those videos, I packed up a lot of craft stuff and a lot of sewing stuff and some fabric. So yeah, because lots of sewing going on, because we're getting into the season of the craft shows. You know, craft shows start kicking in for the holiday season, because Mom and I, you rarely can find, like, it's so hard to find crafted stuff for the holidays at the beginning of the year, you know, for like Easter and Valentine's Day and St. Patrick's Day, because nobody does any craft shows then. Not in my area. They're all in the fall, and so they all end up geared for Christmas. So it was always hard to find stuff. So I used to just put the stuff she made on Etsy for those holidays for in the beginning of the year. But yeah, everybody will be doing their sewing for the holiday. So I don't even know if I have any Christmas fabric left or where. Like I said, stuff stashed everywhere. So, but I will have to have another crafter sale at some point, where I just have a night where it's just craft supplies, because I found another box that just was nothing but beading supplies, and some of it packs of stuff that's never even been opened. That'll be the benefit of having the Black Hole Challenge and having an office in that room. I then will be able to have shelf space where I can actually like sit things out on shelves and see what I've got and work my way through it faster, because it's very difficult having to sort through boxes, because I just don't know what I've got, but everything's in boxes. So, you know, you're sorting through a box and you're like, oh, well, this will be good for this, and this, oh, but this goes with this, and this belongs to here, and oh wait, this can be sold, and but yeah, like the work baskets was a surprise, because there is a standalone closet. It's not it's a big 1920s piece of furniture, and it's literally just a closet cabinet, and very simple, very plain, and that's in the corner of Mike's room. And inside it is all his vintage clothing and costumes. But I was going through the bottom of it, and all these work baskets and about 7 or 8 antiques magazines were all in the bottom. I didn't know they were in there. They were still in there. So, oh yeah. See, the hardest part has been to have the space, because that's the problem. Is there's not an empty table in this place. There's just, it's claustrophobic. There's just no space. And my sister says, well, then you just put what you want to keep, you put it away. And I pointed out to her that there is no away, because everything is packed. There's one closet, one that's empty right now. And that's the coat closet in the kitchen. And when we took everything out of there, I noticed it was getting mildew on it. So I got to figure out why, because that's nowhere near any external walls. So where is this damp coming from? So we took all the coats and everything out of there. So a lot of them were coats and stuff from when I was a kid. You know, so some of them were stained and beat up, so we tossed them, and what was in good shape still that were children's sizes, from the nieces and nephews and all that, who now have kids of their own. I donated them to a shelter downtown that takes women with children. Oh, that's cool. We don't do that here. Some places do that. Here we got to do Facebook Marketplace, but because people see Chester in my area, in my county, everybody assumes Chester is all crackhead, drug addict, high crime. But I'm cut off by 95. I-95 cuts off my entire corner of Chester because everything else is on the other side of 95 and all down by the river. But there's a soccer stadium down there, there's a racetrack down there, there's a casino down there. Only thing on my side is Widener University, and Crozier Hospital is just a few blocks that way. So, all right, so I'm gonna get going. Yeah, it's every city, and Chester is a city that's been here since before we were a country, when we were still a British territory. God save the Queen. I heard today she passed away. I kind of wondered when the first news report said they were calling the family to come to Balmoral. That's never good. So, but even in Philly, I mean, Chester is a very old city, and most of its economy was all of the shops. When I was real little, there weren't malls. There were not shopping malls. You went to Chester to go shop. We went down there to get school clothes. You went down there to get shoes for school. And then in the 70s, they built the local shopping malls. And now they've torn one of them down and did the new kind of town center, which I hate those with a passion. The beauty of a shopping mall was that you could go in, stay in bad weather, and everything was all in one place. You just walked around. But these new town centers, I hate them. Most of them, they say you can walk around, and no, you can't, because they don't actually have sidewalks in most of them. You can go to 4 or 5 little stores, but then you got to go drive to get to the next one because there's no way to walk to it. And that means you're going in and out and in and out. So anytime there's bad weather, those stores aren't going to get any business, because I don't want to be doing that. I'd rather drive down to Delaware and go to the Concord Mall if I needed to. I'd rather stay inside and be dry and do my shopping all at one spot. But Chester was where you went. And so the malls gave it a hit. But when the Philadelphia Navy Yard, when the Navy pulled out of there, that was the other big hit to the city of Chester, because there were a lot of machine shops, and there's still a brass foundry that now specializes in doing artwork. For artists all across the world and across the country have come to Chester to have their stuff done here. But that was a real big problem. Westinghouse used to have a plant in Chester, and that's gone as well. But Scott Paper is still. When Kleenex bought Scott Paper, they found out that the Scott Paper plant in Chester that had been closed down still had all the machinery in it to make toilet paper. So now the plant in Chester makes most of the Scott toilet paper for the entire eastern seaboard. So that got some jobs back, but everybody assumes that it's all such a poor and beat up area, and it's not. Any city is going to have pockets. You can drive around downtown, and there's little areas where you can tell, they're not having so much problems, but then there's areas, and you can usually tell because you can see how well things are taken care of. And I'm well aware that my house right now looks like the haunted house for the whole block, because the yard looks like crap, and the piece of glass fell out of a 3rd floor window. in the attic, and the attic's so stuffed I can't even get to the window. But you know, we got in there and put a board over it, but it's still, you can see it from the street. It doesn't look good. But we'll get there. I still, no mortgage on the house, still own my own house. Take it. Gotta find those bright spots. Gotta hang in there. So yeah, I'm all set for you know what I always wanted to do for Halloween? And Mom would never let me. I wanted to get just clothesline rope, because then it wouldn't be super heavy. And this house has 3 floors. The black and white picture that's the image for this overstuffed house is a picture from the 1911 house. Before this part, like you can just see over here, you can see the archway a little bit. That's where the 1911 house actually stopped, that archway. And I'm in this section that's like 1 room deep of 1935, because they just made the living room a little longer. And so, but that picture shows that there's these nice overhang on the roof. And I wanted to make a giant spider web out of clothesline that went from that 3rd floor overhang to the ground. Mom would never let me. I didn't realize as a kid that it was probably because that would take a lot of rope and it would have been a lot of money. But I still think it would be kind of really cool to do some year. It would be awesome. And then take like black trash bags and fill them with leaves, and you have the front porch roof, and make a fake spider, a giant one, on top of the porch roof. And just take some white paint and paint little eyes on it. And I think it'd be a blast. The best Halloween I ever had was I tried growing pumpkin. I didn't get any pumpkins, but what I got was a massively long pumpkin vine. Now here's the fun. Pumpkin vines get really huge leaves, but the vine itself is hollow. I never knew that. I'd never grown them before. I still haven't grown pumpkins, just this vine. Well, there's 2 round pillars on the front porch. So I looped it around very carefully and then tied it with string, and then it went across like this and over to the other pillar, and I looped around. Now, because these leaves were so big, they also had stems that were about a good 12 inches or more long. So it left this really short opening that the kids had to duck under to get to the front door. Now the kids are all like creeped out by this, and they think but you know, it's one of those things where they enjoy just because it's so different, but they know it's not going to hurt them, but it's still creepy. And so little kids love that kind of stuff. So they get one smart aleck kid who's a little boy, and he's probably about 9. And he just reaches up and he snaps one of the leaves off. And see, there ain't nothing to be afraid of. And it's the one right in the center. So it makes this little gap. But now keep in mind, it's left a piece of stem about 6 inches long. Stems are hollow. So he goes through, he gets his candy. We have a storm door where I can just put the screen down or the window down into the door. So I don't have to worry about, at the time we had a little dog, a Pekingese. And so I didn't have to worry about the dog getting out, and I could just lean out the window and hand the kids stuff. So he's like, thinks he's also hot stuff. He turns around, goes to leave the porch, but it's 2 steps down. So you have to pause right underneath the vine to look down and step. Cold water, these things are hollow. The only thing that makes those vines stiff is the amount of water that's in the vine. He snapped it off. It started dripping water. It's a cold night. It went right down the back of his collar. He let out such a screech, telling his dad, something went down my back, get it off. He's starting to rip off his coat, rip off part of his costume. And his dad finally goes, "You idiot, it's just water." It was brilliant. I loved it. It was so cool. It was awesome. The kid was just trying to be a smartass and ruin the fun for a bunch of other little kids. He thought he was all that. And, no, all it took was one drop of cold water down the back of his neck. It was great. But we had kids, like kids would walk away. We had more kids that year than I think we had in a long time, because they would tell each other, hey, have you been to that house with the vine? And we ran out of candy. I started giving out. I had a bag of apples. I started giving out apples. I ran out of the apples. We had so many kids, and it was all because of the vine. They just was so different. They thought it was so cool that it was all just. And now unfortunately there's no kids in the area. There's a couple of little ones in the next block now. But what happens is Chester is what they call in distress, and so it's in receivership. But usually what happened at one point was that they had Edison come take over the schools, and that was when Mike was a little kid, and boy, that failed miserably. They racked up a $9 million debt on the city, which is why we are in receivership now. But they're working on it. But most people come in and the schools are not the best, especially when you butt right up to Nether Providence, which has Strathaven High School, which is voted one of the top 10 high schools in the entire country. So people stay, they'll have their kids, but the minute their kids hit kindergarten age, they move out. They move to a better school district. So I'm in Pennsylvania. Chester is along the 95 corridor. It is the halfway point between Wilmington, Delaware, and Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Right along up that 95 corridor where it kind of follows the Delaware River up. So it's sad. I miss scaring small children. It's great fun. It is great fun to scare small children on Halloween. I love it. So New Brunswick. New Brunswick, Jersey, or is there a PA one? Jersey, right? How far away would they be? Oh, that's where Rutgers is. Let's see. Where is? I need to make this go smaller. Oh, that's way over there. Okay, wait a second. There's Allentown. There's Tinicum. Okay, so from New Brunswick, that's probably at least 2 hours drive. Oh, New Brunswick, Canada? Oh, geez. I'm way far away from Canada. You'd have to, because it takes, I think it takes, okay, Pennsylvania is really wide. It takes 6 hours to go from one end to the other this way. But it takes about 3.5 to go north. And then you got to get through all of New York. And I think part of, you'd at least have to go through all of New York. So just to get to the border from here is probably 7 hours drive just to get to the Canadian border. So, hi, Linda. So yeah, I have not been to Canada. I used to have a pen pal, and I really miss her. Kind of lost touch when I got Michael, and she used to be a TV producer in Nova Scotia, named Sharon Steibel. She was awesome. We'd been pen pals since 5th grade because we were part of a 5th grade project. And I miss her. I still miss her. There was her, there was an Elaine in England, and there was Tim in England. Tim, we found each other on Facebook, but I missed the other two. But those were the three that we've been pen pals for decades, and then kind of lost track with each other when I had no more time to write because I became instant parent, which is a shame because I think I every once in a while I'll go through a desk drawer and I would still find a card or something that I had from Sharon or from Elaine. So, but I've not been to Canada yet. One of these days, I would like to. Really would like to. The way things are going down here, my son says we should move there. After all, he's got a business administration degree. He could go pretty much anywhere. As long as they speak English, because neither one of us knows another language. So I'm going to go, and like as I said, tomorrow is going to be a super busy day with trying to get ready for what he wants to, whatever he thinks he's going to do to that roof, and to have the flea market. And in order to have seed money for the flea market, I got to get the aluminum out to the junkyard. So I'll be filling his car with that. So if you are seeing this on the replay, there was plenty of stuff that did not sell. Actually, all of it did not sell tonight. That's okay. But if you saw something you particularly wanted, shoot me an email or put it in the comments for the video, and I will see to it that you get it if you would like it. So have a good night. Next week will be a live chat, and we were supposed to have another one of the Gilbert and Sullivan books because everybody seemed to like the first one I did, and have me sing some of the songs to you. Since they are public domain, I can do that. And I think I had picked out Yeoman of the Guard. So that'll be next week. And as always, I'm trying to think of ideas to come up with for videos. The hardest part for me is editing the suckers because I'm just not good at it. So have a good night, everybody, and I will see you. I will see you next Thursday. Bye.